Megatron has ordered this tower demolished.
Interceptors, fire!
Chew on this, Optimus Primal! Ah!
I don't think so.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about Lord Venatagon. This is the Robot Toys RT-D01, their take on a Beast Wars Scorponok in a masterpiece scale, and yeah, it looks pretty good. It's a pretty decent offering overall, but I did get this at Shozy Store. I'm going to link down below where you can get yours at Shozy Store also. But the thing is that it doesn't seem like Takara is going to do a whole lot more Beast Wars characters, especially with the route that they're going, and they're going into T-Spark and other things. And with that, we might just get the Rat Trap and that's it. Good thing we got Robot Toys, and also it's a good thing that we have Transart in there doing their work too, that you can get all the Beast Wars stuff that's coming your way. But let's look at this guy coming up. Alright, here's the box, the packaging. You must be 12. So 11-year-olds, you're out. Sorry. I'm sure someone bought it for an 8-year-old. It'd be fine. If it's a responsible 8-year-old. But anyway, there's the alt mode on the back. So nothing really special with packaging. It's kind of cheap, but it gets the job done. Alright, here he is right out of the packaging. And I've just got to say he looks fantastic. Just everything that I think of when I think of this character comes to life. And yeah, the tail, I like to use it to help him give him a little bit more support. But it can be in the air, and you can display him like that in the air. And of course, you can support him like this too. But I mean, it starts getting a little bit crazy with the tail. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, definitely like a third leg for a little bit there. And there's a lot of third leg jokes that could be made. But he just looks like he walked off the show, out of the cartoon, off of the screen, and just down to just look at how he glistens, and it really has that CGI shining effect going on. They really captured that. And I loved the show back in the day. I really liked the show. I did not like the vintage toys in the 90s, so I didn't buy very many of them. Definitely don't have this guy as a vintage representation, but as a modern masterpiece representation, this is why people buy modern stuff, because this looks so much like the show. And even if you didn't watch the show, just looking at it, and you could say this looks good. And he's got some super tight ratchets in him too, but he looks really, really good. But looks aren't everything, so let's get into articulation. His head goes side to side up. Oh, his head opens. His head opens. His mouth opens. So not much. Wait. You got some down. Not much up. You got the 360 right here, and goes out to there, and a super good butterfly so that you can dual wield a screwdriver that has been through a lot in its life. All right, so we've got bicep swivel, double joints on the elbow. I mean, why wouldn't you have double joints on that good elbow there, right? And then you have swivel here. You can pop it off and make a bigger one. By the way, I have one big one and one small one on him. I think that's how I'm going to do it. And then this opens up this much, and those missiles are nice accessories we'll talk about here in a little bit when we get to accessories. Waist swivel, ab crunch. Very nice ab crunch. And then we have, that's not really a hip flap. We go past the 90 in both directions. Well, just right at 90 to the back. Very stiff ratchet to the side. Definitely think he could do like a kick. Yeah, like he can hold himself with that kick. That's awesome. So double joint on the knee. So pretty well articulated. Now when he talks, he's not as articulate, but people could say that about me. Anyway, feet, does everything you need up and down. Quite a bit in the feet, too, because of transformation. So, remember all that. Very stable, too. He's fallen over a couple times, mostly just because of the tail. He's got to be stable to carry around this ginormous tail. Okay, so articulation in the tail. Swivels here. swivels here. So it's all ball joints all the way down it. So you could get all kinds of weird stuff, as I was showing with that tail. As we discussed, he likes to accessorize, and he comes with these missiles. So these missiles plug in, and then the actual fists pop into a ball joint. So there's a ball joint on there. So they are ball jointed, but you don't really get the full use or range out of a ball joint, but it's fine. It does what it needs to do, and then you got the missiles in there, which there's really no need to even take the missiles out, because unless you want to show that he shot them and now they're gone. But we got a head over here, and both these heads do the same thing. You can flip it up and flip it around, and you have to kind of lower this. Anyway, this one is just a molded mouth versus opening closing jaw, and this just flips around to be red. This one here, the eyes flip around to be transparent red. So after fumbling with it for a while, I didn't think I'd ever get it. I actually didn't think I'd ever get it flipped around there. But as you can see, kind of the difference in the heads, and a shinier faceplate it looks. Well, maybe the same shininess. I do like these little hooks that are on there. I guess I like the painted eyes better than the translucent eyes. And then we've got, I don't know what this piece is. I think it just fell off of them somewhere. So that's nice. We got a disc. I guess they all come with a disc. And this is supposed to be for a light up feature, which I don't think I've got batteries. I don't think I'll be able to get any light up feature. I believe this thing's supposed to light up somehow. And I believe the batteries go in here. I'm not messing with that. Not going to mess with that, but we'll see if we can get it to light up. No light up. No light up for me. Yeah, you got to do batteries and stuff. So we have this little extra little thing here. It's got a tab, so it should clip on there. And anyway, we've got these claws. The claws. As you can see, I've got one big one over here, so that's the difference in the size. So this is the big, this is the small. I'm going to leave one big, one small, because I just think it's interesting. I just want to show, if you want, you have to put a battery into here to get it to light up. And I don't have one that size. Sorry. I wish it was okay for them to ship them with batteries in it. But then again, if it sits sealed for 20 years, that battery will go bad and leak and mess it up. So I understand that. But this day and age, I mean, most of the stuff's getting opened anyway. Alright, so this is a Masterpiece figure, and these are Legends. Legends, Hasbro mainline, I don't even know what era, Kingdom, I guess. But they're making, this company should be making this one in Masterpiece scale. So they got a Waspinator up for pre-order on Shozi also, and I guess this guy's just ready to order and in stock, I believe, so you can pick him up. But I plan to get the Waspinator also. Again, I don't think Takara's going to make it. Let's get some other stuff for scale. Here he is mixed in with a bunch of other fun characters, and it looks good. Looks real good. We're coming along. This is Takara. They did a phenomenal job on this, and he's blocking his own light there. But phenomenal job on the Rhinox, and this is a knockoff of Dinobot, official Optimus Primal, but yeah, it all works well, blends well together, and it almost feels like they're all made from the same company. Alright, let's get this guy transformed up, and we're going to do a few things here. We want to start deconstructing this leg, open it up, close this piece into here. Got to clear that, and then we're going to open this up. And then we're going to just kind of wiggle this and flip it around. I'm not sure if you can only go one way with it, but you got to flip that around. This is going to go up. This is really interesting right here, because this is going to just kind of clip into where that just kind of went. And then this goes here, this goes here. And then there's going to be some messing around with positioning of this later on when we get to that part So we do all the same stuff to the other side of the leg. And I want to speed this up just a little bit because I don't want to spend too much time on this. We need to separate the front and the back. And it's interesting. We're going to pull the face, this face out here, and then tuck his head in. And then we're going to put this into here. I think this should tab in better than that, but let's get this out. I hate using tool. I hate using a tool. I wouldn't use it on something that I don't think that's, I think that's cast in black. And then there's that. Now we're gonna do some weird stuff here to try to keep it straight in my head. I don't really know. Move this around out of the way, and we're rotating the lower section, and then we're rotating the, I guess those need to fold, and they folded it on their own, the upper section, which is really weird if you ask me how they did that. That is quite strange. Now we're going to work on this, and I guess we should position the arms just to kind of be out of the way. Something like this. Let's get the arms out of the way for now. All right. So this is... we want these out of the way too. Here we go. That's going to get those out of the way by tucking them in like so. Because the legs are going to have to come up over this. So we're going to turn the legs and the wrong way. Turn the legs this way. Fold it up. And then that's when you got to position it to come over that. Get over that lump there. Sort of. Same thing over on this side. Let's see. This way. Fold it up. And then position it closer so that we can tab all of this stuff together in a good tabbing session here. If we did everything right up to this point, it should tab there and here, which let me take a look at that. Yeah, I needed to adjust these. These need to be all the way in place just right. Like everything, it has to be in there just right for the tabbings to work. And so it just seems like this lower tab here is what's holding it together. And then these are just like guide points up here more than tabs. They're like guide points so that they sit right. It's strange. All right, we're going to tab these tabs into the head. So we've got to get all that positioned correctly. And then we'll go from this angle, give it a squeeze, make sure these are out. And we'll work on that a little bit more here in just a bit, because we got a lot of stuff to do with the back here. Now these legs are insane, how they tucked them all up in here. But we have to separate them because they're intertwined with each other. So separate them as we're separating this. All right. And then we got to get the legs out of there without knocking them off, which I popped them off, which they're ball joints. They'll pop right back on. It's not that big of a deal. And then we can just tab that down. And then it's going to be a little trickier with the back one here. Now what we're going to do with this tail, and for some reason I was thinking that we should be able to do something else with this, but we don't really. So we need to bring this tail down and tab it in. Tab here, slot there. All right, I'm just going to kind of give it a little bit of pressure like that, and then it snaps in just fine. Then we got to do some stuff with these legs. And this just kind of fell in place too. Once that snaps in, that just fell in place for me. It's supposed to kind of tab in also. It's really tight now that everything's plugged in. And then we're going to go around, get legs positioned properly, put this other leg back on, and make sure the arms are in okay. The arms, there's a kind of a spot for them to go in there, and then you have to kind of manipulate these a little bit. But I'm pretty much done at this point. I'm just going to clean it up a little bit, and then we'll be back. All right, here he is in his alt mode, and it's a pretty nice, convincing alt mode for a Scorponok. And it looks good, it gets the job done, and matches the cartoon, but it's not perfect. There's a couple of weird things, like you could hide those screws by flipping the shoulder around, but you have much less articulation. It's not going to be correct articulation. So that's one of those things. You can hide the screws by flipping this around, which I think is probably what was the expectation with this. But I'm just looking at the instructions. It shows these all the way to the back. At least that's how I interpret it. The other thing is these legs are not really legs. They're decorative. And I guess you could say with Scorpion transformations, most of the time they are just decorative. They're not really going to support the figure. But there it is. Nice looking tail. Everything in this mode does look good, aside from the couple things I pointed out there. But yeah, I mean, it fits exactly what you'd expect for a Scorponok, and a pretty good size. We'll do that here in a bit, but let's look at this face. So it's a good looking face. These things can kind of open and close. They don't feel like they tab in. They just kind of close like that. Which I think that gives it a little bit more personality to open and close and do some stuff. And this slot here is what I was thinking the little drone would go on. Let's see if that works. The little drone fits. It's a little on the sideways side of things, and it's very loose. So I don't think it was intended for that. But it works. It gets the job done, and it'll stay on a shelf. You can move it around and do stuff with it, and it'll hold. But it's not holding tight or firmly, like doesn't feel like it was intended. But what else? I know that this tab's there, so when it connects in bot mode, but usually the tabs are about the same size so that it works for stuff like this. But anyway, no other accessories other than if you just want two big giant scorpion claws, which I think that you want the small ones in bot mode and the big ones in beast mode, or you can be a weirdo like me and have one of each. Probably should go a little more into articulation on this guy in this mode, because you have 1, 2, 3 points of articulation on the legs. All the same stuff with the arms, exactly, depending on how you want to set it up. And then these things that move in and out. Now the tail's all on the ball joints. We've already covered that, but let's just cover it again so that you can kind of see what you can do with it. All the way up to here, all the way back. You can go about this far to the side. And the same thing over on that other side, and make the legs look like they're actually working and doing something. But there's the articulation. Not a whole lot of articulation, but what more would you need for this guy? For comparison, I want to compare them to, well, I can't even get them all into frame with the tails and stuff, but I want to compare them to similar type of characters. This is Transart's Quick Strike! Quick Strike! Ah, I saw the pretty lady first. And Scorponok's like, no, you didn't. I think Scorponok's a little bit like sort of on the slow side of things, if I remember correctly. But there they are. There's another one that's similar. Transart's Tarantulas, which I know that there's another Tarantulas coming for, I think, Legends scale or something, which I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I gotta look all that up, because I say I know off the top of my head. I can't even tell what's coming from what scale with this company, but... here is a nice looking Tarantulas, but a little fiddly getting everything tabbed in. But once it's tabbed in, it looks really phenomenal. But these are similar type figures. Here he is with Rat Trap and Cheetor. And let's see a different angle. Size comparison. I mean, what else could we even do for size comparison here? But those are the ones that size up similar to this guy. Pretty decent all mode. Alright, so that's my look at the RT-D01 Lord Venatagon, and that is Robot Toys' take on a Scorponok. I can use the tail for some support there. I think they did a really good job on this figure. It looks really good. Really does look like it walked off the screen. And the accessories all sort of make sense. Pretty good figure. Really a nice, solid evolutionary step in the next generation of Beast Wars figures that are coming from third parties. So we're finishing some business from just even the early seasons and series of Beast Wars, and it is pretty good. It's pretty solid. Now I'm gonna have a link down below where you can get yours. I got this at Show Z Store. Remember, a TH, support the reviewer. And let me know what you guys think about this guy. Are you in on this, or do you really not care about Beast Wars? Or does this look so good you want to buy it? Does this figure get you excited enough to buy one? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and Titanium Hanger out.
And I really don't think so. He always was a